Hey guys, I made a mistake on a recording I just did. Pretty much, I was reading this book, but my mic wasn't plugged in all the way, so the audio sounds very weird. Um, I'm gonna just kind of describe what happened in the book. So, a lot of I guess words I can't pronounce or struggle to pronounce. There's the preface, part one, age of shipwreck, 1120 to 1154. The preface, whatever, and then right now, um, we started off the white ship. So I guess I'll reread it. 10 minutes. I put on the timer, but I know where I'll stop. So here we go. That's a lot, guys. Like if this was easy, easy, like like if the words were easy to say, I I wouldn't have a problem. But it's the fact that the words are really you'll understand. You'll see. Here we go. The white ship. The prince was drunk, so were the crew, and the passengers of the ship he had borrowed on the evening of November 25th, 1120. Nearly 200 young and beautiful members of England and Normandy's elite families were enjoying themselves aboard a magnificent white longship that bobbled gently to the hum of laughter in a crowded harbor at Blufford. In Normandy, a 70-mile voyage lay ahead across the choppy late autumn waters of the channel, but with the ship moored at the edge of the dizzy port town, barrels of wine were rolled abroad, and all were invited to indulge. The prince was William the Atheling. He was the only legitimate son of Henry the First, King of England and Duke of Normandy and Medulla of Scotland, and the literate, capable Queen descended from the line of Wessex kings who had ruled England before the Norman conquest. His first name was William, was in honor of his grandfather William the Conqueror. His his sobriquet Atheling was a traditional Anglo-Saxon title for the heir to the throne. William was a privileged, sociable young man who conformed to the time-honored stereotype of the adored, spoiled eldest son. One Norman chronicler observed him dressed in cycling garments stitched with gold, surrounded by a crowd of household attendants and guards, and gleaming in an almost heavenly glory. He was pandered to all sides with excessive uh, reverence, and was therefore prone to fits of immoderate arrogance. William was surrounded by a large group of other noble youths. They included his half brother and half sister Rachel Lincoln and Medelia of Countess of Perch, both bastard children from a brood of 24 fathered by the remarkable fertile King Henry. William's cousin Stephen of Blois, who was also a grandson of William the Conqueror Richard, the 26-year-old Earl of Chester, and his wife Mildred Geoffrey Riddell, an English judge, the prince's tutor, Oliver, and numerous other cousins, friends, and royal officials. Together, they made up a golden generation of Anglo-Norman normality. It was only right that they traveled in style. The white ship belonged to Thomas Flintstein, whose grandfather Harold had contributed to a longship to William the Conqueror's invasion. That's the first page, bro. So, and maybe it sounds easy right now, and I'm reading it pretty fast because I already read it once, so I kind of have an idea, and I'm prepared to for it. Fleet Flintstein had positioned the king for the honor of carrying the royal party safely back from the Blifford to the coast of England. Henry had honored him with the passage of Prince's party, but with this duty came a warning. I entrust you to my sons William and Richard, whom I love as my own life. William was a precious charge indeed. He was 17 years old and already a rich, successful young man. He had been married in 11 100 and 1119 to Medelia, daughter of Folk V, Count of Enjoy and future King of Jerusalem. It was a union designed to overturn generations of animosity between the Normans and Angevins as the natives of Anjou, a small but important province on the lower Loire were known. Following to the wedding, William had accomplished to his father around normality for a year. In learning the art of kingship as Henry thrashed out what the conqueror William of Malmesbury described as a brilliant, carefully concurred peace with Louis VI the Fat, the sly, porcine king of France. It was indeed as an indication on the highest arts of kingship, and it had been deemed effective. William had been lately described as Rex Designs King Designet, and official documents marking his graduation toward the position of co-king alongside his father. The highest point of William's young life had just come a few weeks earlier, when he had knelt before the King St. Louis to pay homage as the new Duke of Normandy. This some card ce- ceremony acknowledged the fact that Henry has turned over the Duke home to his son. It recognized William as one of Europe's leading political figures and marked the end of his journey to manhood. A new wife, a new duchy, and the unstoppable ascent to kingship before him. There were good reasons to celebrate. That was precisely what William was doing. As the thin November afternoon gave way to clear, chilly night, the white ship stayed moored in Blue Flower, the and the wine flowed freely. The White Ship was a large vessel capable of carrying several hundred passengers, along with a crew of 50 and a cargo of treasure. The Norman historian Ordic Vitalis called it extremely excitingly fitted out and ready for royal service. It was long and deep, decorated with orient carvings as pearl and stern and driven by a large central mast and square sail which oars along both sides. The rudder or steerboard was on the right hand of the vessel rather than in the center, so the onus on the captain was to be aware of local maritime geography. Steering was blind to the port side, and that's where we stopped. That's where we left off. Pretty good book, pretty decent book. I just don't understand what's really going on. It it's kind of under hard. It's kind of hard to understand what's going on when you can barely understand half the words or struggle to understand it. But it's a good book overall. I think it'll be better as I move on. There's almost 600 pages, so there's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the reading today. Hope you guys have a good night/day, and I'm out. Thank you.